Hi guys. Well, a couple of things first of all. Um, we're packing up some gear. We're going to go out. We have a couple of locations that we've been looking at that we want to shoot tonight. One of them is an abandoned farm home. We have been there before. It was really interesting. We want to see a few, if anything's actually changed in there, so we're going to go back again. It was probably a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago when we were there the last time. So we're going to head out there. That's in the Mulmer Township, the second line of Mulmer. It's about 20 kilometers from where we are right now, so we're going to be going out there in the car. Secondly, something else I want to tell you about. Now, you guys will remember, for those of you who watch regularly my channel and my videos, on a recent trip to England, I picked up another drone. I generally use the Phantom 3, which is a larger drone, but I love the drone. But I went with something smaller, or I picked up something smaller, which was the Unique Breeze. Much easier to take with me when I'm flying and going to other countries, or when I'm hiking up trails, up the side of mountains and so on. The Unique Breeze, much lighter, much smaller, much easier to put in the backpack. Well, I was torn. I did not know 90% of the time which one I should take with me. So the Unique Breeze, not having a gimbaled camera, it was a huge drawback for that particular drone. So even though my Phantom 3 is a far better drone with a far better camera, I elected on my last trip to England to take with me the Unique Breeze. But I was torn and I could not really make a decision. And when I came back from England, I was still really torn. I didn't know which drone to kind of take with me whenever I was going out. But you know what? I've made a decision. Here, I have what's left of my Unique Breeze. So you know what? Yep, we're going with the Phantom 3. I like it better anyhow. Okay, we've got some gear, camera, some lights, tripod, lenses, filters. It should be a nice evening. Hey, it's May the 2nd. Spring is here in Ontario. The flowers are starting to come up out of the ground. It's getting much warmer out. All the snow's gone. It's great. I love this time of year because it's a time of year of new life, new growth, new adventure, new everything. So we're going to throw this tripod in the car with the rest of the gear, and we're going to blast off to Mulmer Township. Oh, by the way, Gary here with Gary Clayton Photography, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Hey, let's go. So right now, we've arrived at the abandoned house. Just take a look at this place. Again, I can't say for sure how old it is, but it's at least 150 years old. We are going to be going inside there, and we are going to photograph in there. But it's really an amazing property. And right now we have some beautiful sky behind there, absolutely beautiful. So you know what I'm going to do? To begin with, first of all, before we go inside the property, before we take any shots of the property, let's see if we can get the drone in the sky. See if we can get some aerial video footage, especially with that sky behind that house. That might look quite nice. Oh, and by the way, we will be using the Phantom 3. Okay, let's see if we can get the drone in. Okay, so that was the drone footage. Hope it worked out well. Right now, along the side and the back of this abandoned farmhouse, we've got some beautiful golden light. So we're going to make our way around the back. I'm just looking at right now, because time is kind of running out already, and I want to get to that second location, which is in Glen Carin, the Gorge of Glen Carin. But anyhow, we'll see if that happens. But right now we've got some beautiful light on the back. We've got that nice old tree. Now, I bet you back in the day, the kids on this farm probably had a swing, maybe a tree house in that tree. So yeah, without any further ado, I'm just going to stop recording for a few minutes. I'm going to grab a couple of handheld shots right here. Okay, so yeah, I just grabbed 4 or 5 handheld shots just because the light was just right. And it was really quite interesting, quite amazing. I'm really looking forward about going inside there. So I tell you what, right now we're going to have a little bit of a lens change. I'm going to go to something wider, probably my 17 to 40 again. I'm going to put on there my speed light and also my Gary Fong soft cloud diffuser. So that's something that I use, that combination is something that I use for all my kind of interior real estate photography. It's nice, it's wide, and with the Gary Fong soft cloud diffuser, I find I get a beautiful wraparound soft light throughout the room that I'm photographing. So that's what I'm going to use to photograph this property. So yeah, let's have a little bit of a gear change. We'll get back in, we'll get in there, we'll see what we can do. So before we go inside that property, let's just have a little bit of a gear review so you can see what gear I'm using. Oh, excuse me, bugs are out. Okay, so I am using my Canon 5D Mark II. I've got my 17 to 40mm L series f4 lens. I have a speed light mounted vertically on top of my camera, of course, and I have the Gary Fong soft cloud diffuser. Now, I find this combination is great for interior real estate. It's also a great, the actual Gary Fong soft cloud diffuser is also great for portrait. You get no harsh light, you get a wraparound soft light. It's really, really a beautiful light to work with. But anyhow, let us head inside and see through all the bushes and see what we can see. So here we go. Now, we're inside, as you can see, and I'm just fiddling around here because in my pocket I do have a video light. So I'm grabbing that right now, and it might give us a little bit of light in here. So let's just, before we snap any images, let's just take a little look around. Old kind of easy chair from back in the day. Interesting, isn't it? What's in here? Oh, this. Okay, this was obviously back in the day. This is the kitchen area. You've got to be really careful when you're exploring these abandoned homes. Several reasons why. First of all, you've got to be super careful about the actual physical condition of the structure. If you're going inside one of these places, you really better make sure it's not going to fall down on you. Secondly, the floor. You're going to be constantly looking over the floor for holes. Pieces of timber, pieces of lumber, wood with nails in it. Broken, sharp objects. Anything at all that can do you some physical harm. So believe me, even though it might appear we're just kind of cavalierish charging into this property, believe me, we're not. A great deal of preparation off camera is done to make sure that this kind of photographic opportunity does not cause injury to me primarily. Look at the old couch from back in the day. Let us see if we can get to an upstairs level in this property. I apologize if the video is a little shaky, because I'm holding the video and my camera in one kind of hand, and I'm holding the video light in the other hand. So you also got to be a little bit, well, you've also got to be a lot careful for creatures that make this property their home. Now look, right there on the floor is where a pipe of some kind would have come through. A chimney probably from the hearth or the fireplace back in the day. Wow. Interesting, isn't it? Look at that. Kids' writings. Wow. Wonder how long ago those were done. Interesting. Super, super interesting. Amazing. Okay. Another bedroom. Okay, so I just spent about 20 minutes inside that property. We got a group of shots. I hope they're good. They look good on the back of the camera. The speed light, the diffuser worked great. So hey, amazing. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to head over to my second location. My second location that I want to photograph today, while we've still got reasonably good light, is the Glen Carin Gorge. Now, that's about, maybe 20 kilometers from here. We do have my little car with me. This is all just way too far to hike in one kind of go. But the two places I wanted to photograph. So, we're going to head over to Glen Carin. We're going to take a look at the gorge. There's a trail to walk up, or to hike up. It's about a 15-minute hike up that trail. And it takes us up to a gorge. The river runs below. There's some interesting trees. It should be okay. It should be interesting. It should be a good shoot. So let's jump in the car. Let's head over there. And let's see what we can find. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. I could actually spend a lot more time right here because the clouds are beautiful in the sky with the sun's. It's just, man, it's just gorgeous. So much going on up there. So much character. Wow. Anyhow, so yeah, we better get going. Let's blast off. So right now, we've arrived at the second location I wanted to take a look at today. And we are in the small community of Glen Carin, specifically on the beginning of a trail that's going to take us to the Glen Carin Gorge. Now, the Glen Carin Gorge is essentially a river. You might be able to hear some running water because there's some rapids to one side of us here. It's a river that through the spring season and the melting season, there's such a ferocious amount of water that rushes through there that over hundreds and hundreds of years, it's just dug away at the embankment and created a gorge. Now, we have been here before. We were here probably a year and a half, 2 years ago. So we wanted to come back again today, see what's happened, see what's going on, see what everything looks like. It's a very interesting trail. It's not particularly a long hike through here, but it is interesting. So you know what? I'm just going to pass the GoPro around, let you take a look at the river as it winds its way around there, and as we climb up the gorge. Quite interesting. So hey, let's keep going here. Let's get up to the summit or the top of this gorge. Let's have a look around. Let's see what there is to photograph. Let's see if we can find a composition that's interesting. Okay, so after about 15 or 20 minutes of hiking along the trail, we really are at the top of the gorge here, and we're looking down on the river. Now, it's really quite chaotic up here, and it's difficult to get a composition. But I've noticed if we get lower down, closer to the actual river itself, we might be able to get a better composition and kind of incorporate a kind of leaning over tree and this kind of thing. Try to make the image a little more interesting. So that's what we're going to do. You know what? Let me grab my tripod here and let us see if we can actually make our way down there without kind of ending up on our ass type of thing. So I'll tell you what, just excuse me while I stick you right there and extend a leg on my tripod. You know what? I do that. Sorry about that, by the way, but I do that because it makes a really good hiking pole. So let's just work our way down here a little bit and see if we can come up with a composition that might work. There's a very interesting tree down here that's kind of leaning over, and I would like to kind of incorporate that, if I could, into an image. But I don't know if that's going to happen. But we're going to have a look anyhow. So, hey, we're making our way down here. Oh, yeah. Okay, you know what? We're actually right now in an area where, you know, we might be able to set up here and maybe capture an image. So we're looking downstream here. You can see a lot of the dead kind of fallen trees and so on over the years. But anyhow, you know what? I'm going to put us on hold. I'm going to set up the tripod. I'm going to get the camera out. And we're going to have a look and see if we can capture an image here. Okay. The bugs are out already. So right now, I'm set up on the tripod. Today, I'm using my Canon 5D Mark II. I've got my 17 to 40 mil lens on there. I'm using an L bracket. Whoa, unstable on the ground here. For my composition, I've got a leaning tree here growing out or from the side of the bank here, which is kind of interesting. All the dead trees that have all collected at this kind of junction in the river itself leading off into the trees and beyond. So hey, that's the composition I'm going with. I have a focal length right now of a focal length of 24 mil. I have an ISO of 100. I have a shutter speed of 1/80th of a second, a 2-second timer. There's my shot. You know what? As always, if we got anything out of that shot whatsoever, I'm going to pop that up for you right now. Is that bent over or leaning tree going to be in there? I hope so, because I think it had so much to the shot, but I won't know that until we get back to the studio in post. So hey, let's maybe go with the vertical orientation and see what we can do with that. Reasonably interesting. It's okay. I'm glad I'm here. Stand by. Okay, so we've changed the camera to a vertical orientation. So now I am definitely not getting the tree that's leaning over, but it's still quite an interesting shot. Again, Canon 5D Mark II, focal length of 24 mil, a shutter speed of 1/80th of a second, ISO 100, f8, 2-second timer. There's my shot. Maybe a little too much sky in that shot. Maybe I can just drop that down a little bit. Okay, we're going to just try that with a little less sky. Interesting.